Have you ever thought about what type of games would have you on a watch list? Probably not. If anything, you want nothing to do with anything that will leave you questioning, what the heck am I watching? There are specific games on the internet that will make you feel this way, and since I guess you click on this video, it must mean that you are oozing out of something that is called morbid curiosity. If that's the case, then I invite you to the world of obscure games, as you are next in line. Before we start, I must state that most, if not all, the games are adult/gore/raw games, meaning that these games fall into the adult content category. To keep it really simple, usually these type of games leave characters, usually females, be subjected to abuse or harm in gory ways, and at times can have nudity. In addition, edo means erotic, so you have been warned. With that out of the way, let us begin and dive into these obscure horror games. Sin of Seastar 2 is the direct sequel to Sin of Seastar and follows a different protagonist named Lilia. Lilia belongs to the Sister of Purification, which aims to fight off monsters that are causing havoc to the world. A noticeable characteristic between the female protagonists in their respective games is the size of their chests. Once again, the milkers are a staple to the game and is one of the many things that it's known for. A major element that Sin of Seastar 2 contains is high quality visual art and its death scenes. Death scenes may not come as something to be wary about, as many games feature stuff like this. However, this is a Rona game we are talking about. Sin of Seastar 2 death scenes consist of sexual themes and acts that are highly sensitive, many of which cannot be described in YouTube as it will definitely violate the guidelines. To avoid this, I'll just say an affected human monster which has lost all of its humanity, R-Word, our main protagonist. And these death scenes occur when a monster defeats Lilia. Speaking of monsters, Sin of Seastar has a variety of monsters, and unfortunately, if Lilia is not careful, she might be subjected to horrible acts of sexual violence. The game is currently being made and a few builds are being posted in the creator's CN site. Tentacle Invasion is about a game where you play as Veronica Wegner, who is returning to Earth as she is in a space freighter named Nostromo 2. She awakens from a cryosleep as Nostromo 2 encounters an emergency. The ship is filled with unknown creatures and Veronica cannot contact her 9 crew members. Veronica uses a computer named Holly 9000 for assistance, and through this computer the lore begins as Holly sets up the story. As Veronica interacts with Holly 9000, the first thing you'll notice is how the portrait of her character is shown semi-naked. What's the reason for this? Well, this game is classified as an H game, so I believe that's the answer. Taking a good look at the interface of the computer, it shows that the game takes place in 2037. As Veronica asks the question, "Where is crew? Are they safe?" Holly responds by saying no response. It appears to have been captured by a life form, requesting rescue, and so the game begins. The gameplay takes a top-down shooter approach, and Veronica must navigate through the ship and slay the unknown creatures that took over the ship. A mechanic that this game has is the arousal level. Each time Veronica is injured by the unknown creatures, the arousal level increases. Veronica must take little damage or heal herself in a safe zone area. It is discovered in the boss fight that one of the unknown creatures had a crew ID signal once it was defeated. The large life form was revealed to be one of the crew members. Tag After School is a unique game as it is one of the few games that features a male protagonist, something that is not common amongst these type of games. The game's plot revolves around a friend telling the protagonist named Shota to go to a closed school, which the friend follows up by stating since he is a coward, he needs to be more brave. Therefore, if Shota doesn't go to the closed school, then his friend won't play with him anymore, due to the reason of not wanting to be friends with a coward. As a result, Shota goes to the closed school late at night and encounters something mysterious. He finds panties on the ground. He then hears someone coming in his direction and quickly hides in a closet. A woman appears into the frame and she carries a scissor in her hand. Soon after she leaves, Shota comes out of the place where he was hiding and encounters another person. She reveals her name as Hanako and states that if he plays tags with her friends, by 6 o'clock she will let Shota go. Shota asks Hanako what will happen if he gets caught. Attack After School is a 2D side-scrolling horror game that lets you play as a male character that must avoid ghosts. Most of the ghosts are related to Japanese ghost stories, while some are original concepts or from another ghost story from the world. There are 10 ghosts in the game, such as the angel statue, girl in the paint, woman with red mask, 8 feet tall girl, policewoman, doppelganger, Mary Hanako, Jianchi, and Fear Eliza. I'm sorry if I mispronounced some of these words. Some are not my native language, so I try my best. Moving on, most of the ghosts comes with a sexual appearance, and Shota must figure out ways to avoid each ghost. Abyss School is a 3D horror adventure game that consists of solving hidden items and puzzles while avoiding monsters and traps at school. The story goes by the following. Yuhi is an ordinary girl who attends a private school. While waiting for her school bus, she picked up a bright purple conch shell on the beach. She fell asleep on the bus due to unbearable drowsiness. What unfolded in front of her when she woke up was a school that had sunk into the deep sea, and an abyss of followers following the high priest. She solves puzzles prepared by abyss followers, avoids terrible monsters, and begins a journey to escape this abyss school and return to her original world. The goal of the game is to escape the abyss school, and there are notes scattered around the floors, in which there are 10. The notes help Yuhi and guide her to solve puzzles across the game. At some point, Yuhi meets another person inside the abyss school. The person reveals her name to be Seiyung and tells Yuhi that she was glad to be able to help with those vague hints, as the abyss follower limited her into saying things in more detail. Through this interaction, Seiyung also reveals the main antagonist in the game, called the abyss follower. Seiyung states that the abyss follower takes the shape of a woman and doesn't think she's human, but instead a corrupted siren. As you play the game, you discover an important finding about the abyss world, and it is something that should be experienced by playing the game, as the game is available on Steam. The Way Home is a 2D side-scrolling horror game that lets you play as a woman who stumbles upon a street altar after leaving a public bath building. She decides to pray at the altar as a sign of goodwill, but comes to find odd occurrences as she makes her way home. It is a strange game that utilizes subtle horror elements and gives off some absolute unsettling feeling. There are elements of exhibition, and it is really off-putting as the game's atmosphere is very dark. The story behind The Way Home is quite ambiguous and strange. Returning to her apartment complex, she turns on the television to watch Nyan Manda. Definitely did not know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. Continuing, as the program starts, the cat, I'm gonna just describe this thing as a cat, says something that catches the player's attention. Today, for the sake of world peace, let's kill some monsters. It seems that each night our main protagonist goes into the public bath, and when she returns home, strange things happen ever since she prayed to the street altar. Alps and the Dangerous Forest is an Edo game that has little to no story besides you're a girl lost in the forest and must escape. There are monsters in the forest that cause unspeakable things to the main protagonist, and that's about it. This game has adult scenes which crosses the boundaries for some people, so the basic goal of the game is to progress through each level by not letting the monsters get to you and exit out of the forest. The disturbing content in this game is definitely the ways our female protagonist is subjected to sexual violence. And that is it for this video. If you enjoyed the video and would like to support, then I highly suggest subscribing and leaving a like. There is without a doubt that these games are truly something else, and maybe you are saying to yourself, what did I get myself into? Well, that's exactly what I am saying to myself as we speak right now, and when I get into these type of games. With that said, I appreciate the love and support from everyone on the videos and hope to continue to push more. Spread the love and see you lovely people on the next video.